Courtroom programs were changed by the Judge Judy show judge. Judge Judy herself then disappeared. After 25 years of controlling courtroom shows, Judge Judy did not, however, retire. She restarted and started something completely different. You will be astounded at where she is now and what she has created. Judy Sheen, who would go on to become the well-known judge of Judge Judy, spotted something in February 1993. She had no idea how significantly her life would change as a result of what she saw. Judy was able to pass the New York State Bar examination in 1965. She entered the corporate sector right away, working for a cosmetics company as a corporate lawyer. But something was wrong. She discovered after 2 years that she wasn't getting the fulfillment she desired from her career. She therefore resigned and made the decision to focus entirely on her kids, Adam and Jamie. She then made the decision that it was time to return to work in 1972. However, she wants something that would satisfy her rather than irritate her. She chose to apply after learning from a friend about a position as a prosecutor in the New York family court system. Judy was employed because she was deemed impressive. Judy quickly rose to fame, and in 1982, New York Mayor Ed Koh appointed her as a criminal court judge due to her severe demeanor. She was elevated to supervising judge in the Manhattan Division of the Family Court by 1986. Her approach to justice was characterized as firm and occasionally severe. Judy, however, would never agree. But it was that look that brought her fame. Heidi Getlin asked her husband Josh to write a piece about her because of her notoriety. In a piece about Judy, Josh, a writer for the Los Angeles Times, characterized her as a lady who was committed to ensuring that the legal system served the public interest. Judy benefited much from the essay, since it attracted Kay's attention. Switzer and Sandy Spreeman were employed by the talent management firm Rebel Entertainment. They brought Judy to the attention of CBS, which then featured her in an episode of CBS's 60 Minutes. Judy immediately became a national celebrity, as the audience adored her during the segment. Judy chose to take advantage of her growing popularity. Thus, in 1996, she penned "Tell Me It's Raining and Don't Pee on My Leg." Judy later retired from her position as a family court judge, having presided over 20 cases. People were unaware that Judy had a cause for leaving her position. The audience was left wanting more after her performance on CBS's 60 Minutes. A show concept similar to People's Court was developed by Rebel Entertainment and its team, and they presented it to CBS. Judy was asked to serve as the judge of the court program that would bear her name because they thought it was a great concept. She agreed, but she didn't enjoy the performance. She and her boyfriend didn't click. She had other desires. However, who? Judy picked up her phone because she remembered someone. Hawkins Bird was enamored with Judy's book. After reading a news item about it in 1995, he therefore wrote her a letter in which he offered to put on his uniform again for her if she ever needed one. Before she had even finished speaking, he knew what he would say when his phone rang. Judge Judy was born, and it completely changed television court shows. There was so much chemistry between Judy and Bird. He was the stern bailiff who had no personal stake in the outcome of the case. When litigants wanted to get aggressive, he brought order, and the spectators loved his steady presence. As each case was set to begin, his admirers eagerly awaited his words. Order, all rise. Judge Judy was more than just the most watched court show with that kind of connection. It was among the most well-liked shows ever. We'll talk about that later. It's unfortunate how things ended between Bird and Judy. 9 to 10 million people watched Judge Judy every day on average. At times, it even outperformed the Oprah Winfrey Show's ratings. The show had the greatest rating of any daytime television program at one point. What made it the most watched show? We'll talk about that shortly. The popularity of the show grew until it reached a stage when the public trusted Judge Judy more than all of the U.S. Supreme Court justices. But Judy wasn't viewed by the crowd as just another judge. She was regarded by them as one of the greatest pop culture icons in history. Judge Judy was always mentioned in shows that sought to attract viewers. Even still, the show didn't win any daytime Emmys in spite of the public's love for it. Judy, however, was receiving accolades and awards from a number of sources in spite of this. In February 2006, Judy received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and in October 2012, she was inducted into the Broadcasting and Cable Hall of Fame. She continued to get accolades, and in April 2013, the UCD Law Society's vice president presented her with one. Judy, however, wasn't content. She sought a prize for her show. She became anxious, but she had to tell herself that the award-winning shows were canceled or discontinued. Judge Judy, however, drew a sizable following and showed no signs of stopping even after losing. But in 2013, a significant event occurred. Judge Judy eventually received its first Emmy after 15 nominations, which paved the way for the show to win numerous other honors. In 2016 and 2017, it took home another Emmy. Judy herself kept receiving honors, and during the 2014 Heroes of Hollywood, she was given the Hollywood Chamber Community Foundation's Mary Pickford Award. But if you ask Judy, her greatest achievement might be the Guinness World Records she earned on September 14, 2015, as the longest-running courtroom show and the longest-serving judge or arbiter in the history of courtroom-themed programming. Judge Judy was making a lot of money from the show, in addition to the prizes she received. She made so much money that it made news. She made about $25 million a year at the beginning of 2005. Her net worth increased to $95 million as a result, and she rose to the 13th position on Forbes' list of the 20 wealthiest women in entertainment. Even though not everyone was happy with her fortune, some thought it was unjust that she was making so much money while judges who were in charge of the daily court proceedings were making far less. Judge Judy received additional criticism, which will be discussed later. Judy loved what she was doing and the power she had over the audience, but she was tired despite her affluence. She therefore became even more passionate about her work when the studio chose to raise her pay to $45 million annually. However, there was something about this rise. The audience continued to enjoy the event and appreciated Judy's presentation of what they would like to see in the actual legal system. The audience expected litigants to receive justice quickly, free from protracted appeals, procedural hiccups, lawyer meddling, and technicalities. Because of her decades of expertise in family court, fans praised her brilliance and dubbed her a human lie detector. They saw Judy as a true justice warrior who, with her words, put an end to evildoers. But this was not the case for everyone. Some fans thought Judge Judy wasn't as excellent a judge as many thought she was, even though many praised her early Judge Judy programs for their justice and patience. They've even asked whether she can be disbarred. They claimed that she had prejudiced against particular groups, interrupted plaintiffs, and prejudged cases. These detractors claim that Judy becomes vile and contemptuous whenever she has to interact with those who are low income or struggling on public assistance. But a lot of people were unaware that Judge Judy had a problem. Judge grew harsher, and her patience with litigation disappeared as the seasons progressed. Judy didn't take as many breaks as she should have, because the show was beneficial for everyone involved. Even taking a break would have been impossible for her. The show paid litigants to appear, and their fees may range from as little as $100 to as much as $500. The highest pay, based on a number of variables, such as how much time they spent on television. Some litigants received as much as $250. This payment is made after the show provided them with Hollywood accommodations, covering all or almost all of their costs while filming. The defendants are exempt from paying fees, even if Judge Judy grants them. That's what the show does for them. Allegedly, a lot of litigants appear on the show and make up issues in order to receive compensation. This is the reason why Judge Judy detractors have charged that the show adds drama rather than genuineness. Judy could not sleep as the litigants continued to flood in. She also contemplated retiring in 2010. However, her contract was set to expire in 2014. After her contract expired, she mentioned leaving. However, a horrible event occurred long before that time. When Judy arrived on the set on March 30, 2011, everything appeared to be going as planned. Save for the fact that she was completely worn out, Judy simply carried on with her day as if nothing had happened. Judy was listening to the parties, as the bailiff called a case while they were still filming, but only the proceedings were taking place. Everything turned dark. Judy had passed out. She was taken to the hospital right away. After testing her, the physicians discovered that she had experienced a mini-stroke. Judy did not give up though. Rather, she received a pay raise and contract extension that same year, making her the highest-paid TV personality. She was so successful that she even had a spin-off in 2014, which she named Hot Bench. She had no idea how much trouble this spin-off would cause her. Judy accepted a new contract extension in 2017 that would keep her practicing her brand of justice until 2021. Her pre-tax income increased to $147 million, a result of that contract renewal. But it also carried with it additional issues that we will discuss shortly. With that pay increase, Judy put retirement out of her mind and stated that the only reason she would retire was if her show's audience lost interest. She enjoyed her job and was still full of energy. But she had a thought. She started working on how to make her vision a reality, nevertheless, without making the announcement just yet. As she worked on that concept, Judy remained Judge Judy. She also made the announcement that many fans feared hearing in March 2020. She declared that the series would conclude on the 25th anniversary of its 25th season, while she was on The Ellen DeGeneres Show. She would have preferred a different parting effect, but her final days on the show didn't have it. Richard Lawrence, the president of Rebel Entertainment Partners, Incorporated, sued CBS Television Distribution for millions of dollars in 2016, particularly when it was their former employees. He and his company accused CBS of attempting to defraud them of the money they earned from the show. Judy was first introduced to CBS by Switzerman. Rebel said that the reason CBS was unable to pay them was because Judy was being paid too much. They even asserted that the show wasn't as successful as CBS was attempting to portray it. Judy became entangled in this maelstrom of court cases. Additionally, the woman who provided justice to others was charged with unfairly stealing from those who assisted her. It was said that Judy and CBS failed to notify Rebel of further spin-offs because they were unwilling to split the earnings with Rebel. Judy wasn't prepared to be walked over after years of being a strong lawyer and a tougher justice. The accusations were refuted by her. She claimed that Richard was excessively avaricious and unsatisfied with earning more than $17 million from the show. She also called him selfish for never getting in touch with her or approaching her for anything after they first met before the show started. She defended the sum that CBS paid her, claiming that it was due to the value she added to the company. Was she really contributing that much to CBS? In 2018, the court agreed with her and said that Judy was a significant asset to CBS and that her compensation was reasonable. Judy didn't get away with it entirely, though. According to the court, she and CBS ought to have told Rebel about any spin-off. You should reconsider if you believe the drama was done, because there were a lot more surprises ahead, much as in the Judge Judy program. Richard and Rebel Entertainment weren't happy with the court's ruling. CBS was fed up with the legal drama, so they decided to appeal. They wanted their courtroom dramas to end soon, because they had been airing them about other individuals for years. They therefore approached Rebel Entertainment in 2020 and made a contract with them. Rebel pushed for another lawsuit because they thought they had CBS where they wanted them. They joined Judy as a defendant this time, but enough was enough for her. She refused to do business with Rebel and filed a $22 million countersuit against them, alleging unfair business tactics. The conflict continued, but Judy encountered a problem. If she wanted a case, the judge asked her to countersue CBS as well. Judy had to make a decision. She had two options. She could remain loyal to CBS or fight for the money she desired. She lost her case because she opted for loyalty. She was indifferent. The lower court's conclusion that there was no contract violation between CBS and Rebel was upheld by the California Court of Appeal. In accordance with the terms of their contract, the court ruled that CBS was paying Rebel the agreed-upon sum. But as it happened, Judy herself was advocating for a 3-year contract extension. So even though she felt overburdened at one time, she desired more work. She could now bask in her triumph, but it was short-lived. She had to fight another case, and this time, her allies became adversaries. Judy, CBS Corporation, CBS Studios, and Big Ticket Television were sued by Jay Robinson, the trustee for Switzer and Sandy Spremen. They asserted that they were entitled to royalties for finding Judy because they were former Rebel Entertainment employees. They claimed that Judge Judy would not exist if it weren't for that discovery. And the following introduction to CBS. Judy wasn't concerned, because this wouldn't be the first time the two filed a case like this. The lawsuit was, as she put it, background noise. In 2021, the court dismissed it because it saw no merit in it. Judy was involved in other litigation besides them. Judge Judy was sued in March 2013 by Patrice Jones, the wife of Judge Judy's executive producer Randy Duth. She accused Judy of plotting with her husband to purchase pricey silverware and fine china that she had. Judy handed the silverware back to Randy Dowett, who then handed it back to his wife because it was getting messy. Judy continued to be involved in a few further disputes. The one from March 2014 is also noteworthy. Judge Judy's picture was therefore utilized in a few advertisements by a lawyer by the name of John Heyman. When the show's producer realized that utilizing Judy's image was prohibited, they alerted the lawyer right once. However, the lawyer ignored this and kept releasing advertisements. Judy filed a lawsuit since she didn't like this. She claimed that Heyman in his legal practice had given the false impression that Judge Judy had personally approved of Heyman's practice by utilizing her picture in television advertisements without her consent, but Heyman was not going to back down. Additionally, he sued, alleging that Judy had slandered him and his company. He said that he just complied with requests from local TV stations to appear in promotional videos for Judge Judy's show, but that didn't appeal to anyone. And realizing that he would lose, Judy backed out of the lawsuit after Heyman made a donation to her organization. Heyman seemed to have forgotten Judy's toughness. She got to where she is now because of her toughness. Judy has no intention of retiring after Judge Judy's broadcast ended. With all that leisure, what would she do? Rather than retiring to spend time with her elder grandchildren, she worked with them to produce something. Judy had a strategy before Judge Judy concluded. Her goal was to develop a new courtroom program that would appeal to younger audiences and be a spin-off of Judge Judy. Judy Justice was her creation. She chose to work with her granddaughter since she required a younger person's assistance to accomplish that. She chose not to perform in the new performance with Bafe Bird. Nevertheless, in an effort to appeal to a younger audience, she informed Bird that she was unable to cover his salary. Bird was taken aback by this, believing that Judy should have consulted him before making the choice for him, because she had been there for a long time. Despite his pain, Bird decided it was time to move on. Fans, however, disagreed. Judy's treatment of Bird would not be the first time she did this. When the show wasn't on, she kept him at a distance and never once treated him like a buddy. This didn't bother Bird, but the show won the first Emmy. He was depressed. He didn't even sit in the same row as Judy. He was seated 20 rows behind him. Additionally, Judy allowed someone else to present the award to her when it was time to do so. When fans realized this, they weren't prepared to let her act in such a way again. Fans chastised Judy for her actions when the new show Judy Justice debuted, and they realized it wasn't their favorite man playing bailiff. Then the true cause became apparent. Judy wanted someone who could appeal to the younger generation. Therefore, she refused to let Bird join her on the new show. She almost alienated her core constituency by doing that. Judy instantly brought Bird back, but with a twist. After realizing her error, she proposed to cast him as the Bafe and Tribunal Justice, another spin-off program. Judge Judy, where are you now? She is even more well known now than she was before becoming Judy Justice.